Hi everybody, welcome back to Mel's Crafty Mojo. You'll have to forgive me, I've got a cold again, so my voice may sound a little raspy. I'm sorry. But today we are gonna I'm using navy blue, and we are gonna do daisy petals with the navy blue. And I'm also using navy blue with purple haze Deco mesh, and I did the fused method. I believe Julie came out with doing that. That's where I got it from anyway. And so we're gonna be using that. This is a pretty color. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. There are three ladies that started the flower wreaths. Trish with Dean Michael Designs. This is her petal. That's where I learned the daisy petal from. Julie with Julie's Wreath Boutique. I learned a lot of petals, different style petals from her. And Michelle Noble with the Noble Touch. Those three ladies are the queen of flower wreaths. Every one of us that have learned how to do flower wreaths more than likely learned from those three. Okay? Now I may do them a little bit different than they do. I try to figure out an easier way for me, and that's what I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the different ways I do mine that's easier for me. Okay. Alright, so for this project we are going to use the purple haze Deco mesh and then the navy blue poly burlap. So I have the purple haze laying on top of the navy blue. You're going to need a ruler or something, at least this is how I do it, as a guide. And we're going to fuse these two together. So we're going to cut both of them, and I do recommend using a wood burner for this. So you're going to lay it out, you're going to measure it out, lay your ruler on your 10-inch mark, and we're just going to cut it. Make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. Just like that. Okay, so that's gonna fuse these two together. So I will do one more cut, and I try to make sure they're as even as possible because we are doing flower petals. So we're gonna lay our ruler just straight edge, that's all you need, on our 10-inch mark. All right. Just like that. So that gives it a nice clean cut. So again, I will show you a couple of the daisy petals, how I do my daisy petals. I always start out with raw edge on top, or sorry, finished edge on top, finished edge on the bottom. That's how I always start out. I'm gonna take my corner. I always over this top piece, I always overlap this bottom piece a little bit. And I just kind of flatten it as I go down. I'm gonna gather it in the middle. I found this is my favorite way. I do this 2 different ways, but this is my favorite. So I always tend to go back to this one. When I scrunch, I pull down just a little bit, and I'm gonna just scrunch it in the middle. And then I'm just gonna gather it, all right? And I do it like this because I like those little pleats in there. And then I just fold under these bottom edges. I flip it over and I fold in and over those little corner pieces. And then I just mold it a little bit. If I'm not doing a tutorial, I don't normally do the rubber band part. I normally just put it in the zip tie in the wreath. But I do the rubber band on the tutorials to try to keep the length of the video as cut down as possible. So we're gonna do this one more time. Finished edge top, finished edge bottom. Take your right bottom corner, go up and overlap that bottom piece just a little. Flatten it down. And then we're just gonna start in the middle. Just like that. All right. And then just mold under your edge. Flip that bottom one over. All right, just like that. Okay? So now we're gonna start putting these in. All right, on this one, I already got the canvas center in. Do just like I normally do. Just cut you out a piece of canvas, zip tie it to the frame, and we're gonna start on this second ring in. Again, I'm not doing leaves on this one, so I am gonna start. Normally, you would put your leaves on these crossbars, but because I'm not doing leaves, we're gonna do the navy. All right. So I am gonna add a couple zip ties. I like to preload these. It just makes it a lot quicker. If I can get my little fingers in there, that would be nice. Alright. So same thing we did with the other one. Alright. So the way I'm doing them my finished edges are always on this side. And I do that because I work clockwise. And that way all the petals are the same. All my finished edges are going to be on that side. Most of the raw edges will be hidden by the next petal. So we're going to move on to the next one. You just tuck it in there. You're laying this bottom of the petal on these 2 rings. Okay? That's all you're doing. Alright, so I will go ahead and I will finish this ring. Just keep doing the same thing all the way around, and we will be right back. Okay, so we're back. I finished doing the outside ring. Okay, so I got the outside ring done with the daisy petals. And then I think what we're gonna do is we are gonna do another flower petal on the next round. So you're gonna take one of your squares with the purple haze and the navy fused, and we're gonna cut that in half diagonally. All right, so I went ahead and started on this one to make sure my wood burner was hot. You're gonna need a ruler or a straight edge. I use this tip, this really thin tip. And you're just gonna burn right down the center. So you're gonna get 2 pieces. Okay. And then we are gonna take one of our pieces of navy. So I need my finished edge to the right and the other finished edge to the left. So I want those finished edges all going the same way. Okay, so we're gonna scrunch it. Bring this one up. Bring that one up. Just like that. All right, let me move this one down just a little bit. So I want the finished edges on this side. I'm gonna clip them together just for a minute. We're gonna take this piece and we're gonna do it just like we would the other daisy petals. Okay, so we're gonna make just a regular daisy petal with that one. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little rubber band on it. And then what we are gonna do is we're gonna take this one. I want these a little bit fat. And then we're gonna lay this one on top of it. And then I am gonna rubber band them both together. Okay? So that's what we're gonna do with that. Grab the wreath. And then I think this next row, we're gonna put those in there. So the next ring in, I'm gonna go in between the ends of 2 daisy petals. And we're gonna zip tie that down. Okay? So now, I think we are gonna skip 3. We're gonna skip 3 spaces in between the ends of your petals. So let me see. Nope, that's gonna be too far. So we're gonna skip 2 and go into the 3rd. All right, so we're gonna skip 2 and go into the 3rd one. And we're gonna put that one in there. Because I want them just touching. Okay. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna skip 2, go into the 3rd. So I think I figured I was gonna use 5 or 6 of these petals like this. And I don't want the blue ones covering the purple haze. So let me see. Let me make sure. So we'll put one there. There. And we are gonna need one more right here. 2, 3, 4. Yep, so there will be 6. So you will need to place 6 on there. Okay? So I will do that and we will be right back. Okay, so we're back. I've got my petals put in. So we end up having 6 petals, okay, on this one. Now we're gonna take this petal and I will show you how we're gonna make it. And we're gonna put one on the same ring that we were just at. We're gonna put one of these petals in between those petals, okay? So let me show you. So we're ending up using 3 different styles of petals in this one. So let me move that aside. And this is how we're gonna do this petal. So we are gonna take finished edge on your left, finished edge on your right, triangle. Okay, I'll pull it just a little bit, not much. We're gonna take this corner, we're gonna bend it in a little bit, just like that. Same thing for the bottom corner. We're gonna bend it in just a little, just like that. Then we're gonna take it and we're gonna bring it in to the middle, okay? We're gonna take the bottom one, bring it up, just like that. Right, so you have a nice little seam there in the middle. We're gonna take it over, we're gonna measure. You're gonna wanna go about to the 7-inch mark. And you're gonna wanna bunch that up, okay? So it looks like that. Now I'm gonna take one of my little rubber bands. And I am just gonna fold it, bring it around. Bring that bottom piece through. Do it one more time, and I have found that if you do this 3 times, it looks a little bit neater. All right. So now I'm gonna take it back over, make sure I have about 7 inches. Don't have to be exactly, but as close as you can. All right, so then I'm gonna take this piece. I'm gonna put my fingers here. I'm gonna bend this one over. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna pull it down a little bit. But I know I want this indent here because I want it to look more like a flower petal. So I'm gonna push that down with my finger. And then I'm gonna squeeze it together. So you have that nice indent right there. Okay? And then that's the way it's gonna look on the back. All right. So then I'm gonna take another little rubber band. We're gonna tie that off. And that one I usually only do a couple times because it's gonna get zip tied in. I wanna make sure that they're relatively the same size. And then I'm just gonna cut off the excess, okay? So now we're gonna take these and we're gonna zip tie them onto that same ring we just worked on. And we're gonna go in between. There's 2 blue. So we're gonna go again. So I want to go in between these 2 purple ones. Now I want to make sure that looking from the sides, I'm not being able to see the zip ties, because that will bug me. So we are going to go again. And I'm gonna move this one over just a little bit. Alright. Sometimes if it don't fit perfectly in between those two blue ones, it's okay. You can go right on top of it. Your main goal here is to get it in between the two purple. So that's the main goal. You want that laying in between the two purple. So you might have to finagle them a little bit to get it in there, but that's okay. So we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to do this all the way around. You just want them right in between the two purple daisy petals. Okay? So I will do that all the way around, and we will be right back. Okay, so now we are going to put these petals in. And what I'm doing is I'm just going, I started this one in the middle of the two on the bottom, okay? And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go right next to it, about the same distance in on the canvas. So probably about an inch in, and I'm gonna go right next to it. And I'm kind of bending this little end in. All right, and that's okay if it sticks up a little bit, because when we put our center in, it's gonna push these down just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and push those down. So I'm gonna grab another one, and we're gonna go right next to it again. I don't wanna overlap them too much, but I do want it nice and full. So I'm gonna go down. Bring that up. I wanna make sure this little end is about the same size as the one before it. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep going around, all the way around, and just add them right next to each other. Again, I don't want to squish it, like overlap it, but I want it pretty good in there. So I will do that, and we will be right back. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add one more row of these petals in there. And I've added one just to give me an idea of where I want to be. And we're basically gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna lay it right next to the other one. I think I want that one overlapping just a little bit. Just like that. Alright, so let's try another one. Yep, in order to get that good full look, I'm gonna overlap them just a little bit. Yeah, I like it just like that. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do all the way around. You're just gonna overlap them just slightly. And we'll do that all the way around. And then come back and put the center in. So now we're gonna start on these little, on the little flower center. And what I'm gonna have to do, I got 2 points started. Alright, so I cut a piece of that blue Deco mesh 13 inches long. I painted the half styrofoam ball black, but this mesh is really thin. I mean, it looks pretty like that, and you could probably get away with one piece, but I want to see a little bit more of the blue, so I'm going to cover it with 2 pieces. So what you're going to do is you're just going to start. You're probably going to need a bunch of these floral pins, because what you're going to do, you don't want it to buckle up. You want to try to mold it as close to the round ball as possible. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna go around and you're just gonna pull this up and just kind of pin it over. And like I said, you're probably gonna need a lot because you're gonna see buckles as you go. And I don't want to see the buckles on the other side of this. I want to get it as close to the ball as you can. So I am just going to go around and just start kind of pulling it up. And getting it as close as I can. So you're gonna need a bunch. And some of this excess we can trim off as we go. And you want to go in at a slant, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through. When I get it pulled tight, I'm going to throw some glue on top of these and then trim this excess off. Okay, so I will do this piece and we will be right back. I'll probably do the next piece too. So I got both pieces on there. So I think that looks pretty good. I think it covers it pretty well. You want to try to get it as tight around the ball as you can. Try not to pull on this too much because it will start coming apart, but just try to, you know, very carefully get it as tight around this ball as you can. Okay? So now what we're gonna do, I grabbed purple fuzzy sticks. You can get any color. You're not gonna see this. I just happen to have these. So we are gonna take a couple pins. We're gonna put them in there. You wanna put these pins in at an angle, not straight down. All right. So I am probably gonna do 4 again. So I'm doing 1 pin at 1 angle. Let's see if I can move this up. And then just kind of crisscrossing at the other angle. I'll do that right now. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue. Get a little bit of glue in there. The hot glue will melt the styrofoam just a little bit, but it's not a big deal. And I'm still getting glue all over my mat. But that's all you're gonna do for that. So I'm gonna let this glue dry a little bit and then we will attach it to the wreath. All right, so we've got the last row of these little petals put in. I end up using 9 on this very last row. We've got our flower center all glued in, ready to go. So that's all we have left to do. Just put our flower center in. So we are just gonna start weeding that through. And you could even use a smaller foam ball in there too. That might look even pretty too. And there she is. And that's it. So I ended up using 15 daisy petals of the navy on the very first row. We used 6 of the combination petals. So you're gonna need 6 pieces of the navy and 3 pieces of the purple haze and navy fused. And that's the ones that we cut at a diagonal. And then 25 altogether of these little flower petals. Okay. So I hope you all like this one. And we will see you soon with the next project. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.